Hello again guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are back for another Mach Loop Time Trial, this time in the AzurPoly Fouga CM.170 Magister. We've got typical wintry weather here on the ground at AzurPoly. There's been rain passing through the area for most of the early morning. Things do seem to have cleared up for the time being though, so we're going to depart fairly early here. You can see the sun's still coming up. We're going to try and beat the weather and complete our run before any more rain arrives. As usual, we'll be heading up north towards the Mach Loop. En route we'll discuss a little bit about the aircraft's history and specifications. We'll carry out our run, we'll set our time, and then we'll see how the little jet compares to the other aircraft that we've run on the loop to date. As always guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. Let's get the CM.170 airborne and we'll make our way up towards the Mach Loop. So in front of us we have the Fouga CM.170 Magister. The Magister is a 1950s French two-seat jet trainer aircraft, developed and manufactured by French aircraft manufacturer Fouga. Development of the aircraft commenced in 1948 as a new primary training aircraft, designed to harness the then newly developed jet propulsion technology. The initial design of the aircraft was evaluated by the French Air Force, and it was actually determined that the aircraft lacked sufficient power for their requirements. As a result, the aircraft was actually enlarged and adopted a pair of Turbomeca Marboard turbojet engines. The aircraft first flew on the 23rd of July 1952, and the first production order for the type was received on the 13th of January 1954. The CM.170 has seen service throughout the world and has also been produced under license in West Germany, Finland and Israel. The Magister primarily saw service as a training aircraft, but has also seen frequent use in combat as a close air support platform. The aircraft has seen service in the Six-Day War, the Salvadorian Civil War, the Western Sahara War and also the Congo Crisis. The Magister was eventually replaced by the Dassault Dornier Alpha jet. After the aircraft's retirement from the French Air Force, many Magisters were purchased by private owners and continue to fly to this day. The little jet was also a popular choice for aerobatic display teams around the world. Most famously, of course, the Patrouille de France, and it's one of their earlier liveries that we'll be sporting as we make our run around the Mach Loop today. That pair of turbojet engines gives the aircraft a top speed of 386 knots, a service ceiling of around 36,000 feet. So overall I think the Magister is going to have no issues on the run in terms of manoeuvrability, but we might find that the top speed lets us down a little bit in terms of our time. Anyway, as always, let's put the theory to the test. We'll head for the cockpit of the CM.170 and we'll begin our run. So welcome back to the Mach Loop. As you can see, overall the weather's cleared up quite nicely since we've departed AzurPoly. Overall it doesn't look like we're going to have too much to negotiate as we make our run. We've got the throttle firewalled for the time being, just coming over the road, so we'll start the stopwatch. The speed currently just below 400 knots and we're looking to maintain a maximum of 460 knots or Mach 0.82 throughout the run. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue for us, but we'll keep a good eye on the speed. So as usual, tracking down the valley, again maintaining just below 400 knots. We can follow the course of the river for the time being. Looks like there might be a little bit of cloud build up around the second half of the run, but we'll see how we go. Overall, the little CM.170 making the run so far feel like it's happening at quite a leisurely pace, I would say. 400 knots, certainly not a speed to be sniffed at, but compared to some of the other aircraft that we've run, overall fairly sedate. Speed definitely isn't going to be the winning factor in the CM.170, so we'll try and keep our track fairly short around the run. We're not going to be too worried about pulling any G and bleeding off the speed. So far we've only got the aircraft up to around 2 Gs. Again, good visibility, we can already see the hill down by Dinas Malthui, so we'll point the aircraft directly at that. And just following alongside the A470. With the engines pegged there, we're getting around 23,000 RPM at the moment. The aircraft incredibly easy to fly, it's very stable. And to come up over the hill, we should have started the turn probably just a little bit earlier there, just to cut the corner. We'll try and keep the G down as a result, so again, not even coming up to 2G there. And straightening the aircraft up briefly. We'll overbank ever so slightly here just to get us back down towards the ground. Just come up through about 2.5 G maximum so far. We're coming up through Bulk fairly shortly. With that speed overall, just really needing very slight pressures on the stick, the aircraft managing the turns very easily. We're down to about 350 knots there as we crest the hill. And again, descending the aircraft, trying to build up some speed here in the descent, back down to around 380 knots. There's cross foxes in, so we'll again try and minimise the G up to around nearly 3 Gs there through the turn, picking up the A487. So far we've managed to dodge all of the weather, so we're probably clear for the rest of the run now. We'll get the aircraft banked early once again, just to minimise the G through the turn. There's the lake off our nose. Actually really cracking visibility today, you can see quite a long distance overall, fairly drastic change from our previous run. And again, just minimising the G here as we come up through Chorus Corner. We still haven't got above 3 Gs yet, so really not taxing the CM170 all that much. And overall, so far the run is feeling more like a scenic leisurely cruise than a attack of the Mach Loop, but we're doing all that we can in terms of the speed. And again, the aircraft is very pleasant to fly, it's very enjoyable. But I certainly don't feel like I'm clinging onto it for dear life. So over Chorus. And now just loosely tracking the valley back out towards Machloop. Just about to see the town coming up to our 1 o'clock. Again, we'll cut the corner, we'll point the aircraft back down towards the ground, try and gain a few more knots here as we finish up our run. So, over the road, stop the stopwatch, and another run completed on the Mach Loop. Again, the CM170, not exactly a speed demon, but a very pleasant aircraft to fly nonetheless. Really smooth on the controls, and a very enjoyable morning's work overall.
So there you go guys, I hope you enjoyed another outing on the Mach Loop, this time in the excellent AzurPoly CM170 Magister. Again, overall that run felt a little bit leisurely in terms of pace.
Obviously the CM170 not the quickest aircraft on the books, and I think in fact the aircraft was so pleasant and easy to fly that it really made the run feel quite sedate. Anyway, the Magister managed a time of 4 minutes 4.46 seconds, putting it just below the Gloucester Meteor and just a few seconds above the A1 Skyraider. Not too surprised there overall, of course. The Magister is reasonably near the same vintage as the Gloucester Meteor. The Meteor though a frontline fighter, the Magister of course a training aircraft, so rather expecting that the Meteor would have won out on that one. Again though, for me this run really just highlighted how wonderfully the CM170 actually handles. Despite it achieving broadly the same sort of time as the Skyraider, overall it felt like the run was actually a lot slower. The Skyraider was such a cacophony of noise and vibration that somehow it actually made the run seem a lot more hectic overall. Anyway, another fun and slightly more rain-free outing on the Mach Loop. Once again, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider giving it a like. If you want to see more content from the channel, then please consider subscribing as well. As ever, a huge thank you to my channel members and patrons for all of your support. Very much appreciated. I hope that all of you are having a great day wherever you are. Take really good care, and I will see you all again soon.